Hello, all you scaredy cats and kittens, and welcome to the Two Scaredy Cats Podcast, where we talk about all things strange, unusual, and paranormal. We're your hostess with the mostest. I'm Stacy.
I'm Kara.
So, Kara went to Michigan over the weekend. Did anything strange happen to you guys while I know you guys were like camping in the middle of nowhere. Did anything weird happen while you were there? Did you do anything?
Did I tell you about that really weird antique store I went to?
No, you didn't tell me about that.
I don't think I... So, we went... It was after we went to go find flowers for Mario's dad's grave. To, go plant him some flowers on his grave or whatever. I mean, the only store we could find, and it was like an antique store, and it just said on, like, the giant sign, it just said, cool stuff. And then underneath it had flowers. So we're like, okay, cool stuff, alright. It definitely had some cool stuff in there. I'll have to send you photos of it, because, like, hearing about it is not the same as looking at it. So it was in, like, a barn. Okay. Or what I believe used to be a barn. Mm-hmm. Well, it looks like a barn from the outside. And you go inside, it's definitely a barn, but there's, like, it's just stuff everywhere. Like, it's, like, a normal antique store, I would say. It's just a little bit interesting. And then there's apparently a basement, which the first time we didn't go in too deep because Mario was like, we gotta go. We're supposed to be in here just for flowers. So then we went and got flowers, and then me and the girls went back, just us. Mm-hmm. And then we went to go explore the store. And I like, there's like a part where it looks like a kitchen, like it's an actual kitchen. Okay. And I was like, is he living in this kitchen? Which I think he is. So. Ew. I opened the fridge, because there's just like a fridge, and it looks like a normal fridge, like it has like magnets of like family members. It's really bizarre, like inside of this antique store. And I opened the fridge, and it's just like a normal fridge. There's just like grapes in it and random crap. I was like, what the hell? And then there's like a sink full of dishes, and then just like all over the counters there's just stuff you can buy. It was so bizarre, right? That's weird.
Oh, right, that is bizarre.
I was like, funny. What is going on? And then right by the kitchen area, there was, like, stairs to go to the basement, which this is, like, the jankest basement I've ever seen in my life, okay? Okay. And it's, like, there's a big sign that says, furniture, there's more stuff down here, come to the basement. So I walked down the basement, and it just, it's an unfinished basement. Yes, I thought I was gonna die. I was like, this is where people get murdered. Like, this is, like, literally one of Mario's sisters was like, oh yeah, this is definitely where like horror movies happen. Like it was scary, and there was just like random furniture down there. I'll have to send you the photos because it was bizarre. Send me the photos. It was absolutely like just weird. Like creepy. I don't know. I've never been to like an antique store like that. I'm like, there's no way this place is up to code. Like at all. There's no way. I don't know how they have a license. if they have one, I should say. Well, like it definitely looks haunted.
Did you have any experiences while you were in there? Did you feel anything?
No, it just looked cursed. I'm texting you the photos so you can see them.
Okay. Yeah, I can't wait to see these. I'll have to post them
it's
on our
scary.
Instagram page.
Like
I'm sure
it is. It was just weird. Well, I sent them to you, so
all right. I'm
go look at them on your phone.
Fine. Yeah, I'm working on it. Give me a minute.
Like these are. Like, you truly don't understand what I'm talking about until you see the photos.
So, so is that all that you got? That happened? Anything else? I know you were, like, in the forest. Did you guys see anything? Any big feet while you were Bigfoot or Dogman while you were
Any
there?
big feet? No. We did, so there was, like, a walking path, and it's, like, a 30-mile walking path, and, like, the campground we were at was, like, on the end of it, kind of. So, like, if you kept walking this path, it would take you all the way to, like, to the lake. And
do
you see what I'm saying about?
Oh, dude, where's the dead bodies at in that?
That's
place?
what I'm like. Is seriously? There dead bodies on the opposite side? What is going on?
Oh my god, that is.
And
creepy.
There's a bunch of cats that live there too, because we saw some cats too.
Oh my! You and animals.
It like the top looks normal, like the top area looks okay, and then you go to the basement, it looks like that.
Oh my god! Why is there like a pie tin just sitting in the middle of the?
I don't know. It's weird. Like, what is back there? The floor looks like it's caving in. Mean, it's scary.
It honestly looks like somebody was digging.
Oh, there was just like Bible verses all over random stones in the basement too. It was very weird.
Oh wow. Okay.
Nothing like unusual happened.
Oh my god, the creepy clown picture.
I told Mario.
Why did you not buy that
buy it. He's like, you better not.
Oh my god, look at the smile on that clown. It's creepy.
Do you see the bathroom? I sent you a photo of the bathroom. It was like, there's a bathroom downstairs. And it was that creepy, like, I was like, there's no way. I'm holding it.
That looks like somebody got killed in that bathroom. I would not go in there.
I was like, what the heck?
Oh, yeah. I will definitely be posting these on Instagram.
I have a video, too, of you walking around down there.
That's some interesting shit.
I took a video of it.
Oh,
Isn't that bizarre?
Interesting.
I was like,
that's weird.
There's no way you would look at those photos and be like, yep, you're definitely in an antique store. It does not look like an antique shop.
No, not only that, I'm just thinking how to get the furniture down those janky looking steps without somebody dying. The steps like crumbling.
The steps were also super cursed looking. And that was not the steps I went down. There were two sets of steps I went down. Those were the normal steps. I went down the sketchy stairs.
Why
because I went down the one that was by the kitchen because I was like, what the hell?
Oh, of course, because you were being nosy and seeing if you had any food in the kitchen for you. I know how you are.
And the dude's just like the owner is just sitting on like a random like sofa couch in the middle of this room just eating food while we're like perusing.
Oh my god. Oh my.
They had some really interesting stuff, but
I bet. Dang. Ooh, you should have got more photos.
Well, I was trying to be
discreet. Do like a whole podcast
about that weird freaking.
Yes. About antique stores. Oh my god, we should do like a whole one about antique stores. That would be interesting. But anyway.
But that place is so bizarre.
That is crazy. Those pictures tell a lot.
I was like, I need to take photos of this, or people will not believe me how weird it is. Like, there's, like, an old, decrepit building, but then there's that level of, like, it looks like a barn. Like, from the outside, it looked like a barn.
Huh. And he's living
in
the barn?
He lives inside of there, because, like I said, we saw when he was, and then there was, like, an upstairs area, but I think that's where he's sleeping, because it's all, like, marked off or whatever. You can't go up there.
Oh, okay. Well, that's probably a good thing. I don't know that you want to see this dude's sleeping quarters.
Yeah, I don't think so. That was the only. Oh, so when we were walking on that trail, I forgot to.
Mm-hmm.
There were like symbols drawn on signs, like, and we looked it up, and it was like a gang symbol. So that was interesting.
Oh, wow! Did you get pictures of that?
Yeah, I took a picture of the gang symbol too, because Mario said he did not. So we crossed the street, and we went into that area, and me and Mario were like, "This place is a little sketch." So Mario wanted to turn around. We heard some weird. It sounded like a car at first, but then it sounded like a girl screaming. So then we were like, okay.
Oh, okay, yeah, I'd be out of there. It's probably the gang going to kill somebody.
Yeah, I know. So Mario was like, we're not allowed to walk that way.
Witness a murder.
But so instead we walked the opposite direction the next day, because there's nothing much else to do.
Where were you guys at? Were you near Detroit at this point?
No, we're on the opposite side. We're by like South Haven.
Really? That's crazy.
Yeah, so that trail takes you all the way to, well, it's because we're near Chicago. I looked it up, and that sign was a Chicago gang symbol, specifically.
Oh, okay.
So that's why that makes sense why they'd be there, because it's pretty close to Chicago. It's only like an hour or so.
Oh. Yeah, but that's still pretty far out from their territory.
I know, but it was weird. We saw it twice, the symbol twice.
Right, and then you heard the scream, which was even scarier. Yeah, I don't blame you. I would have been
Mario even got spooked. Oh, and then we went out into the woods at night.
Ooh, fun.
Because I was like, well, there was nothing else to do. There's not much to do. Like I said, we can't be on our phones because we didn't have any service, so.
Yeah.
And then,
so you had to interact. Oh my gosh.
Not that we have to interact.
The terribleness of
we had to, like, go out and, so me and Mario and one of his sisters went out to the walking. And then Mario got spooked pretty quick, and then he made us all turn around. But I was like, it was just getting good. It was just getting spooky. Mario kept hearing sounds, and he was freaking himself out.
Oh. But Mario has a special gift, so he probably did hear sounds. Doesn't he?
I don't know. But Lizzie's the one who's does witch stuff, so she's the one that came with us.
Yeah. Because didn't you tell me that when he was little, their house was haunted?
Yeah, their house was haunted.
Okay. Well, you have to have Mario on here sometime and tell us about, or get one of the sisters on here to tell us about what all happened.
Mario is the oldest. He's like, so he would have the most memory of the...
Oh, okay. I guess you're right. I forgot he's the oldest. Oh, anyway, this is interesting because we were talking about UFOs on our last podcast. Last week on Wednesday, there was a huge UFO sighting in Middletown, Ohio, which is
I think
like
I saw
20,
an article
30,
about
40
that.
minutes from here. Yeah, did you see that? Apparently there's like several people that saw it. It happened. It was like in the sky, they said, and it looked like it was like a circular type object. And they said it like came really close down and then it zoomed off in the sky, and it was moving in a weird way. But nobody's ever able to confirm or deny it. Some people think it was just people thought it was drones maybe. But the problem is, I saw the picture of it. It looked way bigger than drones. Because I don't know if anybody else has ever seen the drones that I always see. They have like a green blinky light or a red light on them sometimes. And they make like that humming noise, and they, you know what I mean? You can hear them basically. But with this one, it was pretty high up in the sky. And like I said, it looked like it was circular, and drones usually aren't, they look like spiders, not circles. But so everybody's speculating now that, there's been visitors happening up in Middletown, Ohio. So that was pretty interesting. Yeah. Since all that stuff's been going on the past couple weeks.
Yep.
So is there anything else going on? All right.
I can think of. I was like, I don't think
Okay. Well, then I guess we are ready to get this started today. Or this episode, I mean. So I'm going to go first today. Today I am going to be talking about the Brown Mountain Lights that have been going on forever. Here we go. So the Brown Mountain Lights are located in the Brown Mountain Ridge, which is in Pisgah National Forest in the Blue Ridge Mountains. So these mysterious phenomenon have been seen since the early 20th century. These have been going on for like over 200 years now, which is kind of crazy if you really think about it.
Yeah. So
these Brown Mountain Lights are said to be ghost lights. So, insert all your tomato jokes here from Cars, because
the ghost lights.
Yes, the ghost lights. Dang gum, them ghost lights. They just keep following people around. So anyway, the ghost lights, these lights have been reported, like I said, for more than 100 years. Some people claim that they look like stars, while others claim that they are glowing orbs that move or float around in different areas on this particular mountain ridge. Some of the explanation for these lights are interesting, and I'm going to tell you about them now. So some people believe that these are visitors from another universe. Yes, as always, whenever anybody sees weird glowy lights in the sky, we all assume they're visitors from another universe.
Must.
Some people think that they are lanterns of Cherokee maidens searching for the fallen warriors, because back in the day, way back when, this land was actually owned by the Pisgah Indians and the Cherokee tribe also. And they had this big battle that was there, and they believe that the lights that you're seeing are actually ghost images of the lanterns that the women would use to go and try and find their fallen soldiers. Numerous reports from the past 2 centuries suggest that these lights will hover briefly in the air, then suddenly vanish, and then reappear moments later. There are various colors that they can be, including white, blue, orange, and red, and these lights are almost always appear after it rains. So if you're in this area, and I'll tell you exactly where this area is when I'm done here, but if you're ever in this area and it's raining, you should definitely try and go to see these lights. So one of the first sightings of the Brown Mountain Lights occurred in 1771 when German engineer John William Giard de Brom reported the lights in his journal. He wrote about nitrous vapors that produced globes of light when mixed with wind, saying the vapor would catch fire and take on the appearance of lights. Now, I don't know about you, but I'm wondering where in the world this dude thinks there is nitrous vapors just, floating around in the atmosphere that can blow up and produce these lights that he's talking about. I just don't see that one happening. But that was his explanation. And, he was an engineer, so, they're notorious for that. That's where his head went. Yep. Another early sighting of the lights happened in 1858. When a gentleman by the name of Fate Weisman claimed that he saw the strange lights while camping, get this, at their, this place is called the Weisman's View, okay, and it is, near where the Brown Mountain is, and it is actually like a viewpoint to look at the Brown Mountains, and it was owned by their family type thing, and he was there camping with his dad when he happened to see these lights. Now, this story has been passed on down through generations and generations of Wiseman over the years. But people think that what they happened to see back in 1858, because he kept saying he saw it at the same time, was they think that it was actually a train that he had seen. Now, if you actually see these mountains or look them up on Google Earth or whatever, there's no train track that runs on the side of these mountains. People claim, people are starting to build on the side of these mountains. There's not a lot of areas on the side of the mountains that you can build a home because, it's steep thing. So, there's not a lot of houses that are on there that could causing these lights. And the other thing is that the lights move. They're not stationary. So it's not like you're just going to look out and see that light in one particular spot. Like where we live here, we can see over to Indiana from our house, and there are some homes over in Indiana that have lights that I can see, and they're always there. They do not move. So this would be different from that. So anyway, then in 1913, a group of men from the Morgantown Fishing Club, which Morgantown is right down the road from where Brown Mountain is. And they said that they reported seeing a mysterious red light above Brown Mountain Ridge. First at 7:30 p.m. and then again at 10 p.m. Charlotte Observer recorded the sightings in 1924. Now, there are some legends that the locals believe, and here's some of the legends that have been talked about of what these particular lights could be. One legend says that the lights are the ghost of a murdered mother named Belinda and her unborn child. Belinda had been in an arranged marriage with Jim, her abusive husband. After the baby was born, Jim had arranged for the murder of Belinda and the baby. The myth suggests, or states, that the Brown Mountain lights actually led the search party to finding the remains of Belinda and her child. So they think these lights are a way of showing people where her body is, or where her gravesite is. Other stories seem to just suggest that the lights are the ghost of local gem miners in the Brown Mountain walking through the area with lanterns and torches in an attempt to continue mining. So these would be miners that, blew up in a mining accident, that you can see their lanterns glowing. And that's why they look like they're moving, because they're walking, on the side.
Yeah, that would make sense.
On trails,
to them,
yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, that's one of them. And then finally, this is my favorite one. So, like I said, a lot of the locals believe that there were aliens from other dimensions that would pop in and out. And that's what those lights are. It's like the aliens popping in, from dimensions. But it gets better. So, a gentleman by the name of Ralph Leal published a book in 1965 that claimed aliens had abducted him from Brown Mountain. Yeah, it gets better. In this book, The Brown Mountain Lights, which is that's the name of the book, he talks about how the aliens, he started following the alien lights, as he claimed they were, and was having conversations with them. He said that the aliens led him to a crystal cave, told him the secrets of humanity, and then took him to their home planet of Venus. Now, I don't know about you, but this sounds a lot like the plot to Indiana Jones and the Crystal Skull. Remember?
Oh, yeah.
Where, they went into the cave. But this was in 1965. That movie didn't come out until, 1999, 2000? Yeah. Maybe a little later than that. Somewhere in there. So I find it fascinating that back in 1965, he's talking about a crystal cave. Now, interestingly enough, nobody's ever found this so-called crystal cave. I mean, as to his, assertion that it was aliens that abducted him, who knows? Maybe he was strung out on drugs. Maybe he's a little strange. We don't know. I tried to look up information on the dude. I couldn't find anything about him, like if, he's still alive or whatever. So, and I didn't have a lot of time. I might have to explore that a little bit more. But yeah, I mean, I just think that's so crazy that these lights, and I actually saw a video of them, and it's really fascinating. It's like they appear like in all different areas, not at the same time. It'll be like one light appears, disappears, shows up back in the same area, and then another light, and it could be like a different color than the other ones, will appear. And sometimes they're like in the middle of the mountain. Sometimes they're right above the mountain range where like people are like, oh, well, that could be somebody, hiking or something like that. But the problem is where they were based off the height above the tallest mountain range. There's no way it could be like a person doing that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So they ruled that out over the years. But anyway, these lights still, mystify people to today. The best time to go see them is after it has rained.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, isn't it? Because isn't rain like the atmosphere changes after it rains? So I wonder if that's why, you know what I mean? They're more likely to happen when that happens. If you're interested in seeing these lights, you can find them on the road called the North Carolina 181, and it's between mile marker 20 and 21, and it's called the Brown Mountain Overlook, and this is a very popular spot that a lot of people go to look at them. So if you're interested and you want to go check this out for yourself, I know I do. I'd love to. We're gonna have to hit the road one of these days to check it out, but if you're looking for it, that is where it is. It's called the Brown Mountain Overlook. Is the best place to view these weird phenomenon that's going on with these lights that have been going on for over 200 years. So that's what I had for today. So
yeah, I've heard about those before.
Yeah, people have been talking about them for a long time. So what are you doing today?
We're gonna talk about something a little crazy.
Okay.
So we're going to talk about the Georgia Guidestones. Have you heard of this before?
I've never heard of this. I have no idea what you're talking about.
Yeah, I never heard about this. So, I heard about it a few months back. Mm-hmm. But it's bizarre that we had never, heard about this at all until now. Just because of how, crazy this is. So, the Georgia Guidestones is a granite monument that stood in Elbert County, Georgia from 1980 to 2022.
Oh, so just recently it's not there anymore? It moved?
We'll talk about that, but yeah, some interesting stuff happened.
All right.
So it was 19 feet by 3 inches tall, and it was made of 6 granite slabs weighing a total of 237,746 pounds.
Holy crap, that's
this thing weighed a lot.
Yeah, wow.
So this thing is sometimes referred to as the American Stonehenge, which is where it gets weird.
Okay, I've never heard
That's why
I
said, why had I never heard about this really weird thing?
Right, and now I'm upset. Now we're never going to get to go witness it because it's gone.
Because some crazy stuff happened. So,
all right, well,
here we go. June of 1979, a man using the pseudonym, used fake names.
Yeah.
Robert C. Christian, that was his name. He approached the his not his real name, but his fake name. He approached
pseudonym, right?
He approached the Elberton Granite Finishing Company for a small group of loyal Americans. I'm not sure what that means, but that's what he said. He was approaching them for these people to commission the stones that could function as a compass, a calendar, and a clock. But basically, he had taken a trip to Stonehenge, and he was like, "Oh, we need to bring this, but bring it into America." Essentially.
Okay.
But the only thing that he thought was missing was, a doctrine on it. So think of, kind of like the 10 Commandments kind of a thing.
Right, no, I got it.
So basically, he wanted to put up these stones in Georgia. But he brought it up to the company, and the president of Elberton Granite thought he was a little kooky, because this is a really bizarre thing to bring up. And so he told him a very high price for what it would have actually costed, like, to try and, like, test to see if this guy was legit about, you know, if he can actually pay for what he was wanting. And he agreed with, like, no issue. The guy was like, yep, sounds good.
Wow.
We don't know exactly how much it was, because it's never been disclosed, but we do know that it was over $100,000 at the time, which is about $400,000 today.
And this was when, in 1979?
Yes.
Okay.
1979.
Okay.
So, on March 22nd of 1980, so they did convince him, and they did build it.
Okay.
They had to figure out payment, because, you know, they were all trying to be secretive, and they didn't want anyone. They had to go find a bank in the area that would do the, like, payments for him to do it, like, secretly, you know.
Right, under the table.
They didn't want it tied to his name.
Gotcha.
And they did find a bank that would do it in the area, and they ended up getting it all built. This is where things get very strange.
So when was it finally built? What year was it finalized or done?
So in March 22nd of 1980, the monument was revealed to an audience of 200 people by Congressman Doug Bernard.
Oh, wait.
So this was, like, unveiled.
And the Congress?
That's what I'm saying.
Wait a minute. How do we not know about it? Hello.
That's what I said. Why have I never heard of this until, like, kind of recent?
Right. Okay.
So
weird.
And this is the quote that the person said came from the people who purchased this and made this. In order to avoid debate, we, the sponsors of the Georgia Guidestones, have a simple message for human beings, now and for the future. We believe our precepts are sound, and they must stand on their own merits. That was a statement by the Georgia Guidestones.
Do they think
sponsors.
He's like an alien from another
place? I don't know. It gets really bizarre. It
sounds kind of weird. I mean, when you're making that kind of a weird statement, it almost sounds like you think you're not one of us.
They think... So the purpose of building them was so if something catastrophic happened to the U.S., like nuclear war or something, they would be able to withstand so that the new people would be able to use their rules as doctrine.
Oh, dear God. Stop it.
Up the new country.
Oh, my God.
Yes, that's what they...
Stop.
These rules are very weird.
Yeah, what are the rules? I'm dying to know.
So, there's a few other things we're talking about before we actually talk about it, because it gets a little kooky, and a lot of people were not happy about this, obviously.
I can imagine, yeah. Okay.
Just some random thing, and then the government was okay with it, you know, because they allowed it to be built and everything.
Right,
and, like,
yeah. I mean, if
they were like, oh, this is going to be a tourist thing. They wanted tourists to come and visit.
Right, that's what I'm thinking.
How they were kind of framing it.
Yeah, but I've never heard of it. We never went and saw it, but anyway.
So, they built it in, like, a farmland. Basically, they bought this piece of farm to put up this thing.
Okay.
And they basically... So, originally they were allowing the people who owned the farm to still use it as a pasture for their cows.
Okay.
So, in 1981, they actually had to build a barbed wire fence around it because the cattle were using it as a scratching post.
Oh my God. So wait a minute. How was anybody able to visit it if you got barbed wire around?
That's what I'm saying. There's barbed wire
around
it. It's so weird.
Oh, that is strange.
And it's just in the middle of, like, a cow field. a pasture field.
Well, they didn't think this out very well, now did they?
Oh, they had it. They thought it out very well. You know why they chose that area? They were planning this for 20 years before they actually approached him.
Wow. So this is from back in the 50s they were thinking about this?
I think it was 60s, 1960s. Because it came up in the 1980s, basically.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
So it's about 20 years. Yeah.
Okay, so carry on. So.
They chose that specific location because of the abundant granite. There's like a lot. It's very high granite.
Right,
there,
it makes sense.
Like, oh, this is perfect.
All right.
It's a rural location.
Okay.
It's not like a super big popular town. Mild climate, and there's apparently family ties.
Oh, okay.
That was why they decided.
Okay.
Nothing too insane. But,
all right, yeah.
So if you're curious what was inscribed to the stones, 10 guidelines were inscribed in 8 different languages. That's the weird part. They did like 8 specific languages.
Wow.
Here are the languages. It's English.
What
obviously.
languages? All right.
English, Spanish, Swahili, Hindi, Hebrew, Arabic, and traditional Chinese and Russian.
Wait, do they have Russian on there too?
Yes, Russian was the last one.
Okay. Huh.
It's very weird, the languages they chose.
Yeah, really, that's what I'm thinking. Swahili and...
That's why I was like, Swahili.
Weird.
I don't know. And then, okay, here are the guidelines.
Oh, I can't wait. I'm just sitting on pins
trust
and
me,
needles.
it's bizarre. So, number 1 is maintain humanity under 500 million in perpetual balance with nature.
What?
So, they only want 5 million people to exist.
500
million.
I was going to say...
500 million.
Oh, I was going to say, aren't we over that now?
Yeah, I know. That's why people did not like it.
Okay, so carry on. So...
Here's number 2. Guide reproduction wisely.
What?
Improving fitness and diversity. Eugenics. This thing had, like, eugenics principles on it.
Oh, yeah.
That's why it's very oof.
Yeah, that's a no-go, yeah.
Number 3 is unite humanity with a living new language.
What?
Which is weird. That's why I said, why?
Why? What's wrong with the language we have now? Why muddy the waters with another language?
I don't know. And then number 4, rule, passion, faith, and tradition, and all things with tempered reason.
This is some weird stuff.
Oh, I should also say that the guy, he named himself Christian because he was of Christian faith. So this is why these are even more bizarre, because I'm like, what? So, like, this guy is, like, rooted, it's all my Christianity or whatever. And then it just has very bizarre stuff.
I don't buy that. But anyway, carry on.
Number 5. Protect people and nations with fair laws and just courts.
Right, that one's alright. Yeah.
That one's okay. Like, yeah, some of these are, like, okay.
And
then you get, like, weird stuff.
But that one was okay.
Okay, number 6. Let all nations rule internally, resolving external disputes in a world court. Number 7, avoid petty laws and useless officials.
So, wait a minute.
Number 8 is...
He sounds like a libertarian at this point.
That's what I said, but he said he's a Christian.
Yeah, no, it sounds like libertarianism, some of it anyway. Alright, so...
Yeah, some of it I could hear, but okay, here we go. Number 8, balance personal rights with social duties. Yeah, and then number 9 is prize truth, beauty, love, seeking harmony with the infinite.
What?
That's what I said. It gets
what
weird.
Is that
it's
one's
like, what?
Weird. Okay. What does he mean by infinite?
Number 10.
Like the universe or what?
I think it's really weird.
It is weird.
Number 10 is be not a cancer on the earth. Leave room for nature. Leave room for nature. I'm not sure why it repeats itself.
That's weird. So is he trying to say that the human race is a cancer on Earth?
I get. That's why we need to limit how many people there are.
Right?
We're already like super above that. Because it's like, what, 7 billion people?
Oh, at least. Yeah, we're way above his...
We're going to cut a lot of people.
Yeah. Dear Lord. Next.
So, as you can imagine, the reaction to this was not well.
No, I'm sure it was not well received by most people.
No. So, before the Guidestones were even revealed, there was a lot of controversy. There was someone who worked on the project claimed the stones were the devil's work.
Really? Interesting. Did bad things happen while they were cutting the stones and that, or?
Yeah, so while working on the stones, claimed during the time of working he was constantly hearing strange music and disjointed voices.
Okay, that's weird.
I told you, this whole thing is bizarre.
Okay. Huh.
And then one local minister warned of occult groups and that a sacrifice of the spot was imminent.
What?
So basically, a lot of people thought it was like Satanism.
Oh, wait, that could be.
But it's funny because the guy claims he's Christian.
Yeah.
But then all of these like religious groups in the area were like, "Oh, this is the work of Satan."
Huh.
In 2008, the stones were defaced. They had like graffiti on them, and they had some really weird stuff. But most of us said "Death to the New World Order." A lot of people think it's the New World Order. So
here we go again with the whole.
Yeah, we're back to the New World Order.
Yeah, we're going back to Denver and the New World Order building their secret hideaway out there.
Yep. That's all connected.
Yep.
It said, Jesus will beat you, Satanist. That was one thing that was written on this. I don't understand what
people
is going
are so
on.
funny. Oh my.
And then there was one person wrote, the elite want 80% of us dead. And then someone wrote, Obama is a Muslim on the stone.
Okay, whatever.
And this is 2008, which that would make sense. Isn't that when he ran for president?
Yeah, I think so. Or when he got
But still,
elected.
like, what the heck?
Yeah.
Isn't that fucking bizarre?
Yeah, that had nothing to do with the rest of it. I think that was just somebody, because they saw something.
It was weird. It was all at the same time, though. Like, so, like, overnight, it was suddenly vandalized, and when they came back, you know.
That's crazy that just all of a sudden, after all these years, it gets vandalized.
Yeah, it hadn't really had, like, crazy vandalism, and then it all of a sudden went like that. And then, so, okay, here's what happened, why it's no longer
what happened
here.
to
So,
it? Why
in
is it no
July
longer?
of 2022, there was some CCTV footage, picks up a person sprinting to the thing. He was carrying something in his arms, and then you see him running away, and then, the entire thing blew up. The guy had a bomb, and he blew it up.
Explosives. Did he get thrown in jail, I hope, for
We don't know! We've never caught him! Here's the crazy part.
Oh.
Get your tinfoil hats on. This one gets really weird. So, oddly, hours, like, this was a few hours after this. They immediately had cleanup crews in there cleaning the scene, which is a crime scene. Didn't you think they would be investigating it to see, like, what happened?
Yeah, why?
Isn't it crazy? Immediately they were going in to clean up within hours.
Yeah.
They never found the person who did it either. Ever.
Huh.
They eventually were saying, we don't have enough info. But there was a car where the guy got away. There was footage of the car leaving the scene, but no one knows what happened.
Wait a minute. No sleuths out there? None of our, backyard sleuths figured out who the car belonged to or anything?
Nope. But we wouldn't know because they cleaned up the scene of the crime before anyone could go look at it further. Like, it seemed weird. And then, so only one of them was damaged. The one that had Swahili and Hindi, was the one that got damaged.
Wait a minute. Oh, so they're still there?
No, they took them all away to put them in a safekeeping until they could re-erect them.
Oh.
So, but
okay.
the one was destroyed, one part of the thing, because it's like a giant, think of Stonehenge, like, it's basically like that.
Right, okay.
One of the rocks.
So I'm curious, what did the person or the group that is involved with this, what did they have to say about all this? Are
they don't know, they're silent.
The aliens are coming to get us?
I don't know what...
Are the aliens coming to get us, or what's going on?
I don't know. It's weird, is all I'll say.
That is crazy. I've never heard of
that. They wanted
to
remain anonymous. They do believe they have figured out who the original guy was, the Robert,
Okay, so I'm curious, who was it? Was it somebody famous?
No.
Because they had a lot of money.
So basically the guy, the banker that he did the deal with, was the only person... So he had to know his real name to be able to open a bank account.
Well, yeah.
And do that.
Right.
So eventually they were able to figure it out through... The guy is already dead, the original guy who put them up.
Okay, well, what was his name?
Allegedly, Herbert Kirsten. It's just some random guy. He apparently had 4 kids, which was interesting, because a lot of the times they would always be preaching how one kid per house, basically.
Now wait a minute, he's preaching that, and he's got 4 kids.
Isn't that weird? Why do they get 4 kids, but no one else can have 4 kids? He said that if I don't know, it was a. It's a whole weird. Isn't that bizarre though? That whole thing.
That is weird.
Yeah. And he's dead, so it's not like.
And that's weird that the rocks were making noise. Did anybody else come forward and claim they had weird things happen when they were
it was just that guy.
The rocks?
I don't know if it was really like, people just trying
to check on that guy to make sure he wasn't,
just
hitting the joint a little too hard or something.
I don't know, but I thought it was an interesting story of just like weird.
It is very interesting, huh?
And they're gone today.
Now we got to see if it. I was just saying, now we have to see if they come back.
I know. Are they going to replace them? There was also apparently like a strange structure somewhere else that happened. Like randomly they found it in a field.
Yeah. You're talking about the one out, was it like Las Vegas? It was somewhere like in
remember?
The desert.
It was like a desert area and it was found. And then
but then it would quickly disappear, and it happened several times.
Yeah.
People think it was like an art installation thing, but then they were like, no, we don't think it's an art installation. It could be something else. But yeah, so that is kind of crazy that happened later on after, because that was just like a couple years ago that story
those things
broke.
like A year or two ago. I remember seeing it. Like,
yeah,
everyone was talking about it. They were like, "Oh, this thing just showed up in the randomly, and then it disappeared."
Right, yeah, appeared.
But it was like it wouldn't have been easily to place there because of how heavy it was.
Where it was,
They're like, "How did someone get a machinery to come here?" And then it was just gone. Like no one had done anything. It was bizarre.
Yeah,
but it reminds me of that. Except like this one was more like we know that it actually got put up by people, but it was just weird how it happened.
Yeah, that is crazy.
And we still won't know the whole truth because we don't know if it really was a group or if it was just one guy.
Right, yeah. I know, it sounds pretty hokey, some of their little ideas about
it's just weird. And then apparently a lot of like right-wing people are very upset about it. There was some lady in Georgia who her whole like campaign, if she was elected to office or whatever, she would tear it down because everyone hated it.
That's funny.
Isn't it just weird?
Yeah, waste taxpayer dollars tearing it down. I'm like, some billionaire put up. Yeah.
Clearly, they had to have a lot of money just to be able to throw money at that and be like, "Yep."
Right.
So apparently, the actual cost would have been way less, but they told him a high price because they were like,
"Oh, because they didn't think he was really going to do it."
Yeah, they didn't think he was going to do it, and then he bid, and they was like, "Well, we can't turn this offer down."
Yeah, right. Well, somebody made bank on that deal.
Oh, I'm sure. Because it was just like 6 stones, which I guess I kind of see why it was so high, but still.
Yeah. Because
when you think about like slabs, it reminds me of like, like when you go to a graveyard and you see like people have those little monuments.
Mm-hmm.
It has a similar energy to that.
Yeah. That's
I don't know. But now you know about the Georgia Guidestones. I can't believe no one I'd ever heard about this thing.
Right? I know. It's crazy. Like how they kept it a secret for, we never
It wasn't really a secret. They wanted people to come visit it. Just no one knew about it.
But we've been to Georgia before. We were there before 2022.
Yeah, it's North Georgia too.
I know. And did you ever see anything about come see this other version of Stonehenge here in America? Nope. So they weren't doing a very good job of advertising it if they really wanted people to come see it. Mm-hmm. That's crazy.
There was also built very specifically. It was supposed to be like a compass too. Mm-hmm. So it was where the slabs were supposed to point in specific directions. So if you needed to know the time, it also could tell the time because of the way it was set up.
Yeah, was there one in the middle that was the hour hand or whatever?
Yeah, I think based on what the time, the sun probably moved. I don't know.
Okay. Yeah.
Basically they built it a very specific way, and then there was a spot that always pointed towards the North Star. I don't know.
But wait, you said there was only 6. If there was truly a sundial, you need to have 12 of them.
Really? I don't know.
Right? Did you say there were
6 slabs? One was at the top, on top of them. So it was kind of like a plus sign, and then there's no center.
Okay.
So they were just in that box shape, and then there was something on top of them and hold them together. I don't know. You just look at it. You can see photos of it before. It was
all right.
demolition.
Yeah. All right. Interesting. Yeah. Well, sorry, we can't tell you to go visit that because it's no longer here. But maybe if it resurfaces. Yeah, maybe. But if you want to check out those brown lights in North Carolina, the Brown Mountain Lights.
I was I think I had this topic in my notes, and I guess I didn't. I looked at it, and I was like, oh my god, it's been destroyed. Because when I first was looking at the Guidestone to do it as a topic, it was still, not destroyed yet. It was a mystery still. Oh. It's still a mystery, but,
No, I know what you mean, yeah. Huh, interesting. All right. Do you have anything else to share today, or?
Well, if you enjoyed our podcast today, follow us on Instagram at Two Scaredy Cats Podcast, and please be sure to leave a review on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. It really helps the show get discovered. And tune in 2 weeks for a new episode. And to all our scaredy cats and kittens out there, remember, curiosity didn't kill these 2 scaredy cats.
Thank you.